Hey, Joe here. On the ER301 forums, forum user Lance Drake posted a question about building a sequential switch using existing units on the ER301. That intrigued me, so I thought I would try it out and see what I could accomplish, and I got a pretty good result. So I thought I'd share that and kind of show you how I built it. So what I'm going to build here is a 4-step sequential switch. You can kind of see here I'm starting in the admin area rather than the user area, and the reason for that is I actually want to make a global chain that's going to control my timing function. So in the admin area here, I'm going to go into global chains, and I'm going to do add chain here and do a new mono chain. And it looks like you have to name it, so I'm going to go ahead and name this, just to save some time here, ST for sequence timing. And we'll press enter to commit. And then I'm going to dive down into this chain, and I'm going to add a new unit in here, and what I want to put in here is a tap tempo. Alright, so we've got a tap tempo unit, and I want to have something automatically tap it here for me, so I'm going to go into the tap and set its modulation source, and we'll just put a sine wave in here. And I want this to be fairly slow, so that I can kind of hear the results here. So let's roll this down to maybe, roughly 2 hertz. So it's going to be a pretty slow LFO sine wave. And so you can see we're kind of tapping the tap tempo here. I'm going to go ahead and set the divisions down to 1, so that we just get one pulse for each iteration of the sine wave. And I'm going to go ahead and roll the width down to 25%, because this is going to be a 4-step sequential switch, so I want each pulse width to be 1/4 of the total. Alright, so I think we're good on the global chain here. This is going to be our timing function, so that's in place. I'm going to roll back up into user mode and start to build my chain. Next thing I'm going to do here is insert a mixer channel. And we'll dive down into the mixer channel, and what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to insert just some sine wave oscillators, some audio rate things, so that we can actually hear the results of the step sequencer. So go ahead and put a sine wave in here. 214 hertz sounds good. Roll the volume down for a second here. Next thing I'll do is put I'm going to put a VCA after this to kind of control whether we're hearing this or not. And in this case, I'm going to use the rational VCA because I really just want it to be either on or off. So I'm going to set the default number of divisions to the default numerator, I think it would be to 0, so that would be all the way off where we can't hear it. And now what I want to do is actually control this numerator. So I'll go down here into the control for the numerator. And what I want to do here is to control this with the global timing function that I have. So I'm going to go in here, and down here you can see I've got the different input sources, inputs, locals, and globals. I'm going to use the S1 button here to choose globals. And there you can see the global timing source that I have set up as the global chain. So I'll select that one. And if I turn my output volume back up, and actually we need to go in here and set this gain to 1. Alright, so we're just kind of getting one pulse, each 1/4 division of the global timing function. Turn my master volume down for a second here. So there's one more thing I want to do here inside this inside the modulator for the numerator, and that's that after my global timing function up here, I want to go in and I want to insert a variable delay. And I'm going to set the wet on this to 100%. so that all we hear is the the full delayed signal. In this case, it's just going to be a repetition of that. The other thing I want to do is set the delay time, and I don't really need to do it on this one, but you'll see why I'm going to do it in a second here. So I'm going to go in here and control the amount of delay that I get on this. And what I want to do is roll over here and insert a new unit, and in this case I'm going to insert the periodometer or periodometer. I'm not sure quite how to say that, but that's what we'll put in there. And again, I want to use my global timing source here to drive the periodometer. So we'll go back in here and we'll choose globals once again, and we'll use my global timing function that I set up. So that should give me something on the period meter. And the period meter, if that's how you say it, gives you just kind of an output voltage based on the frequency of the signal that you're feeding into it. Okay, one last thing I want to do in this chain is come over here and insert one more unit, because I actually kind of want to multiply this depending on what we're getting out of here. So I'm going to insert one more rational VCA. In this case, I don't really want to delay the signal at all, so I'm just going to set the numerator to 0, and I'm going to come up here and set the divisor to 4. So in this case, I'm not really, the multiplier is kind of 0, right? But so I'm not really doing much here. But you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. I'm going to save this and kind of repeat this across 4 different mixers. So we've got 0 out of 4, and let's come back up one level here, and again we're going to set the gain to 1. And if I turn my output volume back up, nothing's really changed here. So I've kind of created a chain, but we're not doing much with the extra units I've put in yet. Okay. So rolling back up to the top of the chain here, what I want to do is come in here. I'm going to save this mixer channel so that I can kind of easily repeat this. So let's see. I'm just going to do a new file here, and we'll just call this S. That's fine. Mixer channel 1 SS for sequencer step. So go ahead and save that. And the next thing I'm going to do is come across here and insert another mixer channel. And I'm going to go ahead and come in here into the mixer channel, and we're going to load a preset. And I'm just going to load the preset that I just created, mixer channel 1 SS sequencer step. All right, so now we've got 2 of these. They look like they're sort of doing the exact same thing here at this point in time, and that's what we want to go in and just make a couple modifications here. So I'm going to come down in here. First thing I probably want to do is just kind of change the sine wave to a different frequency so that it sounds a little bit different. And I'm going to turn the volume up here a little bit. So now we're kind of getting a kind of a chord sound, right? 2 notes. All right. So the next thing I'll do is roll in here into my numerator for this one, and we're going to kind of change the timing function on it. So we'll drill down one more level here. I've got my variable delay, and if I go in here and check out the delay time, we had this rational VCA set up. And this was kind of our division to control the delay. So here we've got 0, 4. I'm going to roll this one up to 1. And I'll turn my volume back up. So now we're getting these two different frequency sine waves staggered. And if I roll up to the top here, you can kind of see how the mixer channels are responding. So they're firing one after the other. And it's pretty easy. I'm just going to repeat this process a couple more times. So I'll insert a 3rd mixer channel, load my sequencer step preset, come in here and change the frequency of this sine wave to something else. And you can hear it firing on the first step. Now let's go a little higher. Come in here into my first rational VCA, into the delay, into the timing function, and we're going to roll the numerator up to 2. And we'll go back up to the top of the chain here, and I'll just create my last step. One more mixer channel. Load the preset. Change the frequency there. And here we'll change the numerator to 3. So pretty cool. We've actually got a sequential sequencer going. Because I've used the periodometers here to actually read the frequency of the timing function, if I roll up here into the admin area and go down into my tap tempo, I can change the master frequency here. Just like a little bit of glitching there, so I'm not quite sure what's causing that. It doesn't seem like we're using, if I roll down here into the admin, I was already in admin, roll down into scope mode. I'm only using 20% of the CPU here at this point for this, so it doesn't seem like that should be, causing any artifacts or anything. Another kind of interesting thing I can do here is control this control the width. So right now it's set to 25%, so it's kind of equally divided. But if I roll this down a bit, I'm going to get some silence in between, right? So pretty cool. Right now I've got sine waves set up, audio rate sine waves to kind of hear this, but if we go back up into the user chain, and we roll back up to the top, so here's my sine wave, but really no reason I couldn't take this and instead of a sine wave here, put the had a little bit of a brain fart there, so I actually had to delete the sine wave oscillator, and now I get my option to select different inputs again, right? So instead of an audio rate sine wave, there's no reason that I couldn't use my A, B, C, D inputs, and I could put other audio rate outputs of external oscillators in here, or CV outputs, and do a bunch of things there. So I think this worked out pretty well. Anyway, if you have any suggestions or questions or anything, feel free to respond. Thanks for watching.